here today because it's the day that we mark the size of the gender pay gap. Equal Pay Day reflects how far women, on average, need to work in order to make what a man makes in 12 months. So women have to work at least on average 15 and a half months, and that's a shame.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out on this blustery, cold day. But the fire burns bright, and we are here with passion to demand rights for women, to demand that the gender pay gap finally be closed. As Jan was saying, the gender pay gap for our Indigenous sisters is 43%. That means that they earn 57 cents for every dollar that a white man makes. The gender pay gap for our racialized sisters is 38%. For immigrant women, it is 34%. And on average, women in Ontario face a gender pay gap of 29.3%. That means that over the course of your working careers, women in this province are working 13 years for free. That's the size of that gender pay gap. And we've known that the gender pay gap is real and is a problem for generations now. We've also known that the solutions are available for generations now. And women are done waiting. Equal Pay Day, we say, show us the money. The government has an opportunity right now to take 3 bold steps to close the gender pay gap. The first is pay transparency. That employers have been able to get away with paying discriminatory wages for generations because wages are secret. If we don't know what people are being paid, how can we stand up for our rights for equal pay? So pay transparency is one big demand that we have. We've known for generations that equality for women, economic equality, requires that women have publicly funded, accessible, affordable, universal childcare. And we know that women are the majority of the workers who deliver public services in this province, but that they have been waiting 30 years to get pay equity wages, and they're going to continue to wait another 30 or more years before they receive those wages. We need the government to provide pay equity now for women in the public service, that we cannot have public services delivered on the backs of women who are experiencing discrimination. We cannot have public services delivered by undervalued and underpaid women's work. So those are the 3 key demands that we have this year: pay transparency, childcare, and public services. Show us the money for all of those, and we'll have speakers who come up to speak about each of them.
We thought we were on the right track 30 years ago to closing that gender wage gap with the passing of legislation bringing with it the Pay Equity Act. The act helped to move that pay gap needle a little, but we see that it wasn't enough, and we are done waiting. Care occupations are grossly undervalued because they are considered women's work. Shame. So let's be real. Let's say it like it is. Let's shout the truth. It's a bigger problem than just about the money. The truth is that it is an ingrained systemic bias against women. And without putting an end to this gender bias, it will be a steep, very steep hill that we will have to climb. We need to enforce and expand the pay equity laws. We need to pass pay transparency laws that are meaningful and show the true picture of gender pay gaps for all workplaces. We must make it easier for all women to join a union. We must continue with the increase of minimum wage to $15 an hour and more beyond 2019. We must have accessible, affordable, quality, not-for-profit, universal childcare. We must ensure that our government have a viable and realistic strategic plan to end this pay gap. And this plan must be timely because we can't wait anymore. We cannot wait any longer. We are done waiting. So in closing, we must stay strong. We must stand in solidarity like we are doing today. And we must always be loud to ensure that we close that gender pay gap, eliminate gender bias. We must do this now to better the future for our daughters, our granddaughters, our nieces, our aunties, our sisters, for all women and those who identify as women. Show us the money. Show us the money. Show us the money. Nice and loud. We want Queen's Park to hear it. Show us the money. Show us the money. Show us the money.
I think this will feel familiar to you. We work hard every day. What do we want? Equal pay. We work hard every day. What do we want? Equal pay. We work hard every day. What do we want? Equal pay. Right on, sisters and brothers. So, I want to talk to you about what this means to many workers in this province. As you know, the Workers' Action Centre and the Fight for 15 and Fairness is working with many non-unionised workers across Ontario. And so if you're a part-time worker, if you're working through a temp agency, if you're a casual relief worker, how the hell are you supposed to challenge your wages and inequality if you don't even know what the hell everybody is making, right? Pay transparency is a critical tool for workers to be able to enforce their rights in the workplace, to be able to challenge the temp agencies that run this country with their crappy jobs in our communities, where people are being paid miserable amounts of money doing the same work with full-time workers and being paid 40-50% less. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about pay transparency. We need to be able to challenge these corporations that have, just because they call you a relief worker or a casual worker or a part-time worker, and then want to pay you with no benefits, half the wages, and that has been legal so far in our country. That is a shame. That is a shame. And that is what we're challenging today. We are wanting pay transparency so that workers can actually take the legislation that we've won with Bill 148, like equal pay for equal work, and actually enforce those rights and challenge the agencies and the corporations that they work for. But I'm also here today because I think we really need to realize what's at stake with the elections and what's at stake with this day. Because not only are we needing to fight for pay transparency, but what we actually have in legislation right now is equal pay for public holiday pay. For the first time, part-time workers, temps and casuals are now actually getting the holiday pay that they deserve.